always had fitness connected with training, because it's not about just the knowledge. It's not about just technique. What kind of shape are you in? Fitness matters. Professor David here, I got another video for you today. Today's video is important because there's no technique for me to show you, because the technique that you need to learn is inside these two videos that you're going to look at. We have something that I call the 10 Commandments of Self-Defense I always talk to you about. It is very important for you to understand that this 10 Commandments of Self-Defense is important because the things that are in it is life-changing and life-saving. We also have something I told you called the 21 Laws of Street Self-Defense. You always hear me talking to you about concepts and principles. One of the principles and the concepts I'm always talking to you about is how all self-defense situations do not start on the ground. All fights end up on the ground, but self-defense situations start from a standstill or a stand-up position. Then, when things go out of control, you turn it into a fight. Then when the fight, you went from a self-defense situation to a fighting situation, then it goes to the ground. But sometimes that might never happen. You may never get an opportunity to go to the ground. Because who are you up against? Who are you up against? See, this is your point. The first video you're going to look at has to do with someone who is at the top of their game, the very top of their game, the grappling game. Everybody knows the system. Everybody knows the family. They're not bums. They're the top of their game. But I always told you, you heard me say it to you in other videos, who came in 4th place in the Olympics, in boxing, in judo, in wrestling. Who? Nobody knows. Only their parents. But that's the 4th best person in the world that went to represent the country. That's the type of skills they got. And you bump into them in the street or in a bar, in a nightclub, and you ready to fight. But who are you ready to fight? You don't know who you're standing in front of. So watch this video. This is a match against a high-level grappler and against someone who's the top of their game. Tremendous confidence and tremendous strength. You always hear me tell you, for you martial artists out there who just believe, all I need to do is technique, technique, technique. All I need to do is get on the floor and roll and just grapple, just grapple. You need fitness. Fitness matters. That is why, since the day I started my program, we always had fitness connected with training, because it's not about just the knowledge. It's not about just technique. What kind of shape are you in? Fitness matters. That's why my program I have is called Live Fit and Stay Safe, because you gotta add fitness into the equation. Look at all this stuff. Look at all this stuff I have in my place. Look at it. Tire flips. Look at it. A rack. All this rogue equipment. Fitness matters. I don't have this here for decoration. I've been doing this 40 years. I showed you a video where I'm wearing the same weight belt that I've been wearing, that I bought at 18. Fitness matters. But watch this video and watch what happens. Watch what happens right now. Okay? Because one guy is super strong, and you can't disrespect strength and a person who's in shape. Because it's not just about technique. They may get that lucky shot in. Watch what happens.
What would happen if a strongman faced a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt in an octagon? Mariusz Pudzianowski is one of the greatest strongmen of all time. 5 times world strongman champion, the only man to have ever accomplished this, facing Rolas Gracie, a 4th degree BJJ black belt. The fight lasted just a few seconds and left everyone in shock. Against grapplers, the fights are usually against the clock. The more time that passes, the more likely it is that you will end up being taken to the ground and eventually get submitted. But there is one fact that we must not forget either, since fights always start on feet, and there is always the possibility of a knockout like this one. As a striker, this is the only thing you can do against a grappler, because if not, the fight would end up on the floor.
Okay, now you've seen that video. Now, obviously, the Gracie guy is not a bum. He's in shape, but he's not in that kind of shape. See? Because it's not just your skills. You see a lot of grapplers, a lot of guys who take grappling. These are guys, a lot of them are not physically fit because it's trendy. So they like to roll, but they disrespect someone who's violent, strong, and in shape. You can't disrespect that. Now I'm going to watch this video. Here's another video I want you to see where fitness matters. Watch this. Now, here's an officer, obviously a court officer. If you didn't pay attention, because the guy in the video was in a wheelchair. So start the video again and watch it again. The guy was in a wheelchair. He was taking off his ankle cuffs. While he was bent, he presented his gun to him while he was in the wheelchair. The chair was right there. He seen the weapon. He went after it. Obviously, the guy, in order to be in a wheelchair, he had some kind of disability. Something was wrong with him. But the other guy was so out of shape, so disgusting looking, that the guy said, "To hell with it. I'm going for it." And he went for it. And the guy, you see that the officer, the court officer, the correction officer, he gave up. He was so out of breath, he gave up. The other guy got his gun and would have took his life if the other officer didn't hear the commotion and came in and saved him. So right there, because that guy was out of shape, because that guy had no stamina, because that guy had no respect for the job he was doing, and understand, you're doing a job like that. You're dealing with inmates. You're dealing with criminals. All they do is stay fit. How could you possibly look like that when you're dealing with people who all they do is work out? You got no respect for yourself. You got no respect for your job, because fitness matters. We're living in a society today, and pay attention if you're law enforcement. These people today have no respect for the uniform. So do not let them look at you and judge you and just say, "Hey, I got this guy." So I hope this video was helpful. Watch it again, watch it again, watch it again, because fitness matters. Pass this video on and share it with as many people as you possibly can, because this is one of the most powerful videos that I've ever made. Because if you look at this video and you disregard fitness, and you disregard staying in shape, and you go back and just do technique, and you wind up getting hurt, you deserve everything you get.